Well, welcome back, Raiders. Nice to see you again. Welcome back, Raider Nation and my champions. This is Eric, and we are live at the half with the Raiders leading 20-10. I'm going to go over the good, the bad, the ugly, and the 4 keys to the game that I put out on Friday during the game preview. How you guys doing today? Or early this morning here. It's about 11:30 here Pacific time. I see a few people in TikTok already. Some people starting to file in on the YouTube side. We are simulcasting on both platforms. I want to take a hello. I see Dominique 5 in here as well. We're going to talk about this game, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's get right to it. Why not? If you're not familiar with this is our rundown. So this is going to be the topics we're going to talk about, and then we're going to go to a Q&A because I want to know what you have to say. And put a vote. I got the vote out already. Grade the Raiders' first half performance in YouTube, A, B, C, or D. Let's get to this. Let's talk about this good, bad, and ugly for the first half of this game, guys. I gotta say, the good, basically the theme today is the stars are actually stepping up, and all the famous names you know about, and except maybe one, we'll talk about him in a minute. Mad Max on the spot, getting the fumble, keeping Travis Etienne at bay, especially on his side of the ball. For the most part, he did miss one assignment there with the Trevor Lawrence. We'll get to the bad part in a minute. Overall, pretty good with that. Still needs to get that sack, though. As far as Devontae Adams, well, hello. About 150 yards and 2 touchdowns later, here we are. Again, where was this team last week? I do not know. But they are showing up today, so maybe it took them a week to get acclimated to that Gulf Coast humidity. And then Derek Carr spreading the ball around, for the most part, doing a pretty good job overall. A couple little questions there into double coverage, but for the most part, pretty good. Probably could have put a little more air onto the ball on that last one to Abdullah. Maybe got a touchdown there instead of settling for a field goal. As far as the bad goes, I got to talk about it. Chandler Jones started off pretty decently, but once we'll get back to the Saints flashback, but once Jacksonville started making some adjustments here, very leaky on setting that edge. Again, I thought that was his forte. Not only that he could sack the quarterback, but also could hold the run edge. It's not doing very well this season on either aspect, to be honest with you. And then I put the Saints flashback here because the Jacksonville finally made the adjustments. Trevor Lawrence is looking like Taysom Hill out there running the ball. Travis Etienne, like I said, they never passed to him. That drive, they were passing to him all the time, and it was working. Where's Patrick Graham at? This has been happening week after week after week, and no solution here. So that's pretty bad. And as far as the ugly goes, I'm going to put this on here. Was this an actual fumble? Was it a touchdown? Honestly, I looked at it from a few angles. It could have been 50-50, but you can see the ball here was back here. I didn't really see it get batted back, so it's kind of telling me that it was fumbled right about here, either right at the goal line, breaking the plane, or before it. So the ball is right here, as you can see here. So I'm not so sure. I don't think that was a huge deal as far as the game goes, because it looked like Jacksonville had recovered it anyway. But as far as an ugly, that's probably the best I could do right now. Other than the adjustments, really no adjustments by the defensive side of the ball to what Jacksonville has been doing the last few times, not only with the touchdown, but also the 2-minute drill there, pretty much getting to do whatever they want. And it's a little concerning because that means the Raiders are going to have to keep scoring points. Now, as far as the game preview goes, these were my 4 keys to the game. Let's talk about the defensive side. 2 sacks, 5 quarterback hits. No sacks yet. 50% third down conversion. I believe they are a little bit higher than that now. They were 3 of 6 on that last drive. Travis Etienne's not really running the ball, but At this point, he doesn't have to because Trevor Lawrence has like 50 yards rushing because he's pulling a Taysom Hill on us. He did get the rushing touchdown. Like I said, was it a fumble? Was it not? Can't really run the ball except for the quarterback runs. And I'm honestly kind of sick of the quarterback rules. If they're going to run up the middle, then they can get hit all they want. Because you can see that one play where they went on the 2-minute drill. We kind of let up on him. He looked like he was going to slide and go down, and he didn't, and he kept going. That's a bunch of bullshit. And he got another about 10, 15 yards on the play. So they got to do something about that. I mean, you got to surrender yourself. If we got to play with two-handed touch with these quarterbacks running the ball, then they need once they start motioning to go down, then they're down. They should be blowing the whistle, in my opinion. As far as the offense goes, are you going to show the game? I can't show the game, simply 11-6. I see you in here. Copyright issues. I cannot show the game live. So I do go on to halftime, give you my take on. I want to hear what you have to say. Grade it A through D. Obviously not an F because they are leading 20-10. As far as the offensive side of the ball goes, I wanted max 2 sacks, 5 quarterback hits. I got 1 sack. We're a little under on the third down conversions, but frankly, we're getting big chunk plays here and not a whole lot of third down opportunities, especially once after the second drive. First drive was really stalled. And then 80 yards, I wanted 80 yards receiving from Josh Jacobs and 2 rushing touchdowns. I'm not sure that's going to happen because of Davante Adams exploding right now. So, but I do see some opportunities, more plays in the flat with Josh Jacobs. He is actually starting to run the ball now, and you can kind of tell with the passing game going, it's opening up the run game for us, even though Jacksonville has an above-average run defense. So, how you guys doing today? Well, we're going to be going right here. What do you guys think of this? I want to see your grades right now. Put them in the chat. If you're on YouTube, you can vote. You can vote on there. We got a few votes already. Go ahead, put that in there. I want to see what you guys have to say about the game. I want to know what you guys liked about the game, what you're not liking about the game. I kind of told you my feelings on it. Again, we go on for about 10 or 15 minutes and we go back to the second half. Again, people asking in TikTok. Unfortunately, I cannot show the game because of copyright issues. It'll get taken down. So let's see. Alex Ghost says salute. So give me your opinions on this game. I gave you mine. Frankly, I think the Raiders are going to have to keep continuing to do what they've been doing. I don't see a real issue with that. Colton Miller was getting little issues with Trayvon Walker, but they've kind of adjusted. The offensive line adjusted. They would chip a double team on him at times. I could see that. They are still getting through, but Derek Carr is actually scrambling a little bit laterally in the pocket. He's scrambling outside to make plays. This is what Derek Carr should be doing every week, but he doesn't do it. There are times where he huddles up into a little ball and gets scared. And then there's times like this where he actually goes out and makes plays. So it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde with this guy. He's Dr. Jekyll right now. So we got to ride the good wave. So that's pretty much all I can say about that. Dominique says, we basically can do whatever we want on offense. Should have had another touchdown card. Didn't underthrow Abdullah. Yeah, absolutely. That was a little underthrow. Alsgo says, I like how we haven't gotten away from the run, even though we were unsuccessful running early. Well, the whole thing is we're beating them. We're beating them at the pass. I thought that would happen. I thought we'd get a little bit more Josh Jacobs in the flat. That hasn't happened yet. Kind of cool off their pass rush, but it's working. And Davante Adams is dominating so much. He's drawing double teams now. They're having to basically kind of put a shell. Hunter Renfro's getting into the act finally. And you can see, with that said, they can't stack the box anymore, run Josh Jacobs, and Josh Jacobs is doing his thing as well. So Al's Ghost says, I am cautiously optimistic going into the second half. Me too. I don't think this is the last we've seen of Jacksonville. Remember, the last 2 drives they've had, they've scored. So and they have the ball starting in the second half. They get the ball on the kickoff. So what's going on with Patrick Graham? Again, how many weeks do we have to see people in the flat catching the ball? How many times do we have to see a running quarterback running to the outside and getting as much yardage as he wants? I'm kind of tired of it, to be honest with you. And I don't want to hear about injuries because this defense was thin when it started the season, going into preseason and the off season. They could have addressed some of the issues. They haven't. The interior defensive line is kind of getting owned a lot of times in the run game, especially in the second quarter. You're going to have guys like Denzel Perryman step up and make plays. Diablo got hurt, an arm injury, so that's a big hit for us. But we can't let Trevor Lawrence run around, do whatever he wants out there. And we need to hit him a couple times. And if he wants to do that, this is a big boy sport. You want to run out there with your pretty boy hair and all that, then be taking the hits. And I don't want to see any flags on it, because he should have went down. It looked like he was going to go down on that play. They let up on him because you can't touch a quarterback, of course, in this little two-hand touch league now. And then he went off and got more yards. It's a bunch of crap, and I'm tired of it. So if you're going to play the game, I can see cheap shots. That's one thing. But if you want to run up the middle, be prepared to get nailed. That's the way it is. What have you got to say? What have you got to say, TikTok? I see 36 of you, 38 in here. Put something in the chat. I want you to grade the Raiders' first half performance, A, B, C, or D. I won't accept an F because they got the lead. Last couple drives on the defense did not look good, obviously. But overall, I would say at least a passing grade. I'm going to give it a B myself overall. Finally, the offense is waking up. Finally, we're seeing something. But again, like I said, this is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde with this team. Derek Carr, Mr. Inconsistent. I got to say it. There's times where he looks great, where he's going to take a hit, where he's going to scramble out and make plays. And there's other times where he gets all scared. Now, why has this changed every week? Every week. Now, people are going to say, well, you got the back injury in Houston. But he's been doing this his whole career. It's not just one thing. So I'm tired of the excuses. To me, if he can bring this team back and get into the playoffs, then he can stay here. Otherwise, we need to go draft a quarterback in the first round because I'm tired of Alex Smith. I want a Patrick Mahomes. That's the bottom line for me. So Alex Ghost says B grade for me. Psycho Jackal says I meant to be. He must have graded an A there. I see an A right there. What have you got to say, TikTok? I see you right in here. Come on. Speak up. Speak up because we're going to be going back. We're going to be cutting off. We only go 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes till halftime starts. It's about ready to start up again. And we will be back on tomorrow, 6 o'clock Pacific, to go over the full game. We'll have a full game review. I'll go over my 4 keys to the game and grades for those, as well as the offense and the defensive side of the ball. Let's see. Psycho Jackal asks if he would fire McDaniels. So anyway, it looks like they're going to be kicking the ball off right now. So we're going to be signing off again. Thank you for coming out. And let's get back to the second half of this game where the Raiders are winning. They are winning 20-10. So with that, I will see you guys on Monday, tomorrow, 6 o'clock Pacific. And as always, go Raiders.
Ask you something, with all the distractions that you have off the field, how are you able to keep focused on winning football games as you do and do throughout the year?
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.